Let's get straight to it. Most men don't have a confidence problem. They have a validation addiction. And like any addiction, it feels good in the moment, but it slowly erodes your identity, your decisions, your relationships, and your psychological frame. You stop living based on what is true for you, you start living based on who will approve. And that is a subtle form of psychological slavery, because approval weakens frame. And a weak frame always collapses under pressure. Validation hits your brain like a drug. A compliment, a like, a reply, you are such a great guy. Dopamine fires and your brain says, do that again. So you start adjusting, you soften your opinions, you filter your words, you hide the parts of you that might create friction. Not because you have grown, but because you are afraid the supply of approval will stop. That isn't social intelligence, that is dependency. You are no longer acting from conviction. You are acting from craving, and the more you crave approval, the more controllable you become. Emotionally, socially, even financially. Addicts don't lead, they comply. Your frame is your internal authority, your standards, your boundaries, your sense of reality. When you need approval, you hand that authority to other people. You say yes when you mean no. You laugh when nothing is funny. You agree when you don't agree. You tolerate disrespect because you don't want to ruin the vibe. That is not kindness, that is fear of disapproval. And people feel it instantly. The moment someone senses you need their approval, the power dynamic shifts. They lean back, you lean forward. They evaluate, you perform. Respect drops, attraction drops. Influence disappears because strength does not ask permission to exist. This pattern didn't start in adulthood. It started when approval meant safety. Good grades meant praise. Obedience meant love. Compliance meant fewer problems. So you learned that being yourself was risky, but being acceptable was safe. That strategy works when you are a child. It fails when you are a man. Adult life rewards competence and conviction, not compliance, but the old wiring is still there. So now you over-explain, over-apologize, over-text, over-give, overthink every interaction, because somewhere deep down your nervous system still believes losing approval means losing connection. But if approval is the price of connection, it was never real connection. Let's talk about the nice guy. The nice guy isn't actually nice. He is negotiating. I'll be agreeable so you won't reject me. I will do favors so you'll value me. I will hide my standards so you will stay. Those are covert contracts, not kindness. And when the unspoken deal isn't honored, resentment builds. I did everything right. I was always there. Why don't they appreciate me? Because people don't respect what is given from weakness. They respect what is given from choice. When you help because you genuinely want to, that is strength. When you help because you need approval, that is manipulation disguised as virtue. And everyone can feel the difference, even if they can't explain it. Social media has made this worse. Now validation is instant and endless. Post, refresh, check views, check likes, check who saw your story. You are not expressing anymore. You are performing. Your mood rises and falls based on digital applause. That is not confidence. That is outsourcing your self-worth to strangers with Wi-Fi. The more you measure yourself by reactions, the less you know who you are without them. And a man who doesn't know who he is will always chase someone else's definition. Real strength is quiet. It doesn't beg to be liked. It doesn't rush to be understood. It doesn't panic when someone disapproves. It says, this is what I think. This is what I want. This is what I won't tolerate. Calmly, without drama, without performance. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You need to respect yourself when you are alone. Because the moment you are willing to be disliked for being real, you become very difficult to manipulate. Approval becomes optional. Self-respect becomes non-negotiable. Breaking validation addiction doesn't mean pretending you don't care. It means building an internal reference point. Start small. Say what you actually think, even if it creates tension. Set a boundary without writing a 3-paragraph explanation. Disagree calmly and don't rush to soften it. Post nothing for a while and sit with the discomfort. That discomfort is withdrawal. Good. On the other side of that discomfort is freedom, because when you stop chasing approval, you become more selective, more grounded, harder to move emotionally. And ironically, that is when respect and attraction start to increase. Not because you chased them, but because you no longer needed them. Most men never escape this trap. They grow older, but they never stop performing, still adjusting, still pleasing, still hoping to be chosen. Don't be that man. Break the addiction. Reclaim your frame. Let approval be a bonus, not a requirement, because the man who does not need validation cannot be controlled by praise or broken by criticism. If this resonated, you already know why you are here. Subscribe to the Truth Circle. This is where we rebuild the mindset most men were never taught. Direct, uncomfortable, and necessary.